The shore is black, the waves are black. And then, with a crash, the world turns to electric blue. A wave doesn't just break, it explodes in a shower of liquid light. Each ripple sends pulses of neon across the water, painting the sand in otherworldly patterns before being swallowed by the dark again. This isn't a dream. This isn't a special effect. This is the night the ocean decided to glow. What are you seeing when a wave lights up like a lightning strike? Is it electricity trapped in the water? A strange chemical spill from a forgotten ship. For centuries, sailors told stories of milky seas and burning tides, tales dismissed as myths or hallucinations from long months at sea. They spoke of their ships cutting through glowing water, leaving shimmering trails that stretched for miles, as if sailing through a galaxy. They described the light as cold, ethereal, and alive. But what they were witnessing was far stranger and more beautiful than any legend. They were seeing the ocean breathe light, and the closer you look, the more unsettling the truth becomes. So what are we really seeing here? The first instinct is to find a rational explanation. Maybe it's a reflection of the stars, or moonlight concentrated in some impossible way. But this light isn't coming from above. It's coming from within. It moves with the water, clings to your hand if you dip it in, and leaves trails of light behind a running footprint on the wet sand. It behaves less like light and more like a living ink. Early scientists were just as baffled. They'd capture jars of this glowing water, only to find it dark and ordinary by morning. The magic, it seemed, only happened at night, and only when disturbed. A paddle slicing through the water, a fish darting away, a wave crashing on the shore movement ignites a chain reaction. The ocean seems to be responding. It's a silent, brilliant scream. But what is screaming? Is it the water itself? Or is something hidden within it, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself in a flash of impossible color? The mystery only deepens when you realize this light isn't a single entity. It's a collective. The source of this light is not one thing, but billions. Billions of tiny single-celled organisms called dinoflagellates. They are a type of plankton, microscopic drifters carried by the currents. By day, they are unremarkable, just specks of life in a vast ocean, photosynthesizing like any other plant. But by night, they transform. Each one becomes a tiny, biological light bulb. When agitated, a chemical reaction inside their cells produces a flash of blue-green light that lasts for just a fraction of a second. But when trillions of them are gathered together, their individual flashes combine into a tidal wave of brilliance. Imagine a city where every single resident flickers a light on and off in unison. Now imagine that city is floating, alive, and covers square miles of the ocean. These aren't just simple organisms. They are masters of living chemistry, turning their own bodies into beacons. They are the creatures behind the light, a hidden world that only awakens in the darkness. But this isn't for our entertainment. This light has a purpose. It's a tool for survival in a world of constant danger. Why do they do it? Why waste precious energy creating light? The answer is a beautiful and terrifying strategy: fear. For a tiny plankton, nearly everything in the ocean is a predator. When a shrimp or small fish tries to eat them, they flash. This sudden burst of light has two effects. First, it can startle the predator, giving the plankton a moment to escape. This is known as the burglar alarm effect. The flash illuminates the attacker, making it visible to even bigger predators hunting in the dark. A glowing shrimp is an easy target for a larger fish. The light is a desperate cry for help that says, "I'm being eaten over here." It's a brilliant, sacrificial defense. But it's not just about defense. The light is also a form of communication. For other deep-sea creatures, from jellyfish to squid, bioluminescence is used to attract mates, lure prey, and camouflage themselves against the faint light filtering from the surface. The ocean at night is not silent. It's a constant, flickering conversation written in a language of light, a language of hunger, of desire, and of pure, absolute terror. So where can you witness this spectacle? It's not everywhere. These glowing tides, or red tides, as they're sometimes known by day due to the plankton's color, are rare and unpredictable. They require a perfect storm of conditions, warm water, calm seas, and an abundance of nutrients to fuel a massive plankton bloom. Some of the most famous glowing beaches in the world are hidden away in remote corners of the planet. There's the bioluminescent bay in VX Puerto Rico, where the concentration of dinoflagellates is so high, the water glows year-round. There are the mystical shores of the Maldives, where footprints left on the wet sand at night smolder with blue embers. In Tasmania, vast stretches of the coast can light up, turning the entire landscape into a surreal dream. And along the coast of California, sporadic blooms draw crowds who gather in the dead of night, hoping to catch a glimpse of the electric waves. These are fleeting events, a secret whispered from the ocean. You have to be in the right place, at the right time, to see nature pull back the curtain. But what happens when you don't just see it, but touch it? For those who have swum or surfed in a bioluminescent tide, the experience is life. Surfers describe riding waves that feel like they're made of pure energy, their boards leaving fiery blue trails behind them. Every paddle stroke ignites the water around them, outlining their bodies in a ghostly aura. Swimmers feel like they are floating through space, surrounded by millions of tiny stars that respond to their every move. But alongside the wonder, there's a primal fear. The glowing water reveals every creature moving in the dark. A school of fish becomes a darting constellation. A seal becomes a glowing torpedo. you become intensely aware that you are not alone. The light that makes the water beautiful also exposes its hidden dangers. There are stories of people screaming, not from fear of the light itself, but from the sudden, profound realization of how much life is teeming just beneath the surface. Invisible until that moment. It's a confrontation with the raw, untamed reality of the ocean. The magic is inseparable from the menace. Is it simply science? A chemical reaction luciferin and luciferase triggered by movement? Or is there something more? We can explain the how, but the why still feels like magic. When you stand on a dark beach and watch the ocean breathe light, it feels ancient. It feels intentional. You're not just observing a chemical process. You're witnessing a living system communicate in a way you can see but not understand. The science explains the mechanism, but it doesn't capture the feeling. The feeling of the ocean watching you back. The cold light on your skin doesn't feel like chemistry. It feels like a touch from another world, a world that operates on rules far older than our own. The patterns the light makes in the waves look like a script, like a form of writing that appears and disappears in an instant. Perhaps the line between science and magic is just the limit of our own perception. We've decoded the letters, but we haven't yet learned how to read the words. And so we are left here, at the edge of the water, watching the light show. We've journeyed from a startling visual to the microscopic creatures responsible. We've explored their motives of fear and survival, and we've located their secret shores. We've seen how humans react with both awe and terror. But the final revelation isn't about the plankton, it's about the message. All life communicates. Trees use chemical signals in the air. Animals use sound. And here, in the oldest and largest part of our world, the ocean uses light. This glowing tide is not a random accident. It is a language, a complex, planet-wide network of signals that has been speaking for millions of years. Every flash is a word. Every wave is a sentence. And we, standing on the shore, are illiterate. We see the beauty, the spectacle, but we are deaf to the conversation. This light is a message from the deep, and we are only just beginning to realize we were never meant to understand it. We are merely spectators to a secret the ocean tells itself.